Yeah, indeed,
I'm just
man.
trying to pace myself.
Yeah,
Going on, fellas?
But
what's
it's
going
always
on?
something to pop up. Hey, what's happening? Who's that? Oh, that's David. David, what's good, brother?
It's good.
What's going on, G?
And too much just working, man.
Only thing to do.
Only thing to do, man.
Just working.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't lying.
A lot of
I
packages
ain't even
coming
had
in.
time. Good, man. Let's run it up this year, man.
Yeah, for certain.
Man, I know that's right. I'm sure trying to do just that. We'll see how it goes.
Mhm. Yeah, we 2 minutes in and there's only two people on the call. That's rare. I've
It's
been
the guy. Yeah, I was about to say, where's the guys at?
yeah, man. I've been grinding too. I haven't even had the time to get a haircut. I
Yeah.
just been, I've
Man, I was supposed to go to the
grinding.
gym. Haven't been able to go. I've been sleeping later because I had work to do.
Mhm.
Feels
Yeah, me
good
too.
though. It feels good. Like it feels like I'm accomplishing something. So
You are.
yeah.
You are.
I
That's good.
overslept today.
Uh-oh.
Start moving.
So I'll let some of the guys hop in, man.
What's good? What's good? What's up, man? I'm just looking at Jamil's outfit.
Oh,
You went to
like
a
a back warmer. A back warm. Yeah.
I need one of those
Yeah.
stuff.
Is my Wi-Fi going out? Or is that yours?
It when they see
Climate control.
you got 4 levels of heat.
yeah.
What's up? The what?
The watch.
Oh, yeah, man. I really like it, man. It's a nice one. And at work, people always comment. They're like, "Oh, that's an interesting watch, you know?" So, yeah.
Is it new? Is it new?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this was
Would would you turn out? Would you turn out selective?
yeah, this is a mechanical watch from it's a Chinese brand, but they're not cheap. So it's this one it runs for around 400 or 500. I think I paid three something for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of? What's the brand? What's the brand?
It's called Siga Design. I'll send you a
Sega.
link. Yeah, Siga Design. I'll send you a link in
Okay.
the app. Yeah.
Because I remember you were saying you were trying to build out your watch collection,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm
and I
definitely
made
gonna
and I made a recommendation. I didn't know like what range you were going, but did you get a chance to check out those Grand Seikos?
Yes, and I'm checked, but I think I'm going for the Tizot
Okay.
from
Mm.
David. Yeah, yeah. I want
Is
one of those.
are
I
those from
want
like United Kingdom or are they American? Which ones are the
Swiss.
Tisa?
Swiss.
Swiss. Okay.
Swiss. Yeah.
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 That's what's up, man. I like watches too.
Dudley,
What's
you
going on, brother? Jimmy was
you could
good.
I'm good, I'm good. You having
Guys,
problems with your Wi-Fi?
yeah, I don't know if it's going in and out, but we'll see.
All right, all right.
Guys,
Yes, Dad. How are you doing?
good.
What's
Oli watu
up?
wa Muganda. Uganda
Uganda is all good.
Yes, sir.
Uganda is fine. Uganda is fine.
All right, man. So that's 6 minutes after. So, fellas, I'm surprised by how many few people are on the call today. But let's get started.
Yeah.
So, happy Thursday. And I got a question for you guys, and I want you guys to be honest as always. Jamil, what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear right now is I I feel like I'm not ready to scale my business. Like sometimes I'm in the mood, I'm like hyped, this is happening. And then other times I'm like, especially for the last week, I've been stalling on outreach. And it's kind of a self-sabotage. So I think my biggest fear for me is I don't see myself yet going out there and like selling myself. So I think that's for me the biggest fear right now. And Dudley, with me, there's something I never mentioned, but I have a fear of putting myself publicly out there. You know that? And there is a piece of that puzzle. I've been thinking about it for some time now because Caleb, he did mention, yo, why don't you use LinkedIn? But if you search me online, Jamil Young, you just search me online, you'll get my LinkedIn, but it's attached to my current job. So every time I think about putting myself out there attached to my own company, I'm always worried about how I will be perceived from my job where I work. You know, all of a sudden, oh, I'm out there promoting Navion, my company, but because I always kept it on a low, hey, I'm doing something on the side. And, I did tell my manager about it, but I'm always fearful that if it blows up, that, that clash between, I'm an employee, but I have my own thing on the side. And I think that's something that's a barrier for me.
Okay. We're gonna circle back there. David, what's your biggest fear?
Just thinking about it, and it's not becoming the man who I know I'm supposed to become. Essentially, like I'm thinking about it all the time, and then when I'm sitting down and it's not about me not doing something and relaxing. It's about me knowing that I can be doing something and knowing that I'm never gonna get there if I just keep slacking. So yeah, just not fulfilling my role, I think.
So essentially not living up to your destiny, not achieving
Yeah.
what you know that you were ordained
Yeah.
to achieve. Okay. Okay. And Kaz, how about you, sir? What's your biggest fear?
Yeah. So mine is similar to David's. It's I have an inner child. It's like 13-year-old that has wanted to do amazing things, that is excited about the future, that is basically free to imagine and dream big stuff up. So it's letting that kid down. So yeah, and in letting that kid down, there could be different fears. Well, the current one right now is like really like going broke. That is a really big fear. Yeah, but it's mainly based on that 13-year-old kid that I don't want to let down.
Okay. And Jacob, what is your deepest fear, my brother?
Running out of time, man.
Running out of
Run,
time.
running out of time. Because I got these goals that I got for myself. Just to explain what I mean. Because I'm getting older now, and I feel it. You know what I'm saying? And I got these goals, and I know that I can achieve this shit based off of the the programs I put myself through, and I got this vision, and I be scared about running out of time, man. I really do.
Jacob,
Yeah,
you're what, 44?
43.
Damn near all my friends are way older than you. You have a lot of time. You just gotta
Yeah,
maximize every day. Yeah.
yeah. And another thing, or another fear is like being physically unable to do something. That's a big thing for me because I've
Mm.
I've I've been through the motions. This past few months has been bad, but last year it was way worse. It was worse, man. So I said, "Damn, what I'm gonna do?" That's why I've been working on how to set myself up for remote income. Yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay. Caleb, how are you, sir?
Yo, yo, y'all can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right. Yeah, I'm in traffic right now going to this other. I've been ripping and running all day, but I just wanted to pop in real quick while I got time. Doing
Question
I
for
read.
you. Question for you.
Yes,
What is your deepest fear? What's your biggest fear?
my deepest fear
Shit.
right now, honestly, probably like my parents dying, or um, my parents are getting older. Like my dad in particular, and a lot of my family members have been passing away recently. Um, and my grandfather's actually like not doing too well right now. So um, yeah, I would say like right now is probably that. But just biggest fear in general is probably not getting to where I want to be, and then not either being able to maintain it or feeling like it's not what I wanted. I don't know, something like that. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like getting to where I want to be or losing myself in the process of getting to where I want to be. That's what I mean. Yeah, I would say those are my two biggest fears.
Okay. And Chris, how about yourself?
No,
What is your biggest fear?
it's probably similar to Caleb's, like probably identical. Like my parents dying because my parents are very old. Like my mom's in her like he's 60 now, and my dad is much older. So they're getting old, and yeah, just not being who I say I want to be.
Right. So all of you gentlemen have just explained your deepest fear. Your precaution and your apprehension are holding you back from who you want to be. For me, my biggest fear is having my mother die and going broke. This morning, I did an activity where I envisioned everything going wrong. I saw my mom in the casket. I saw my dad in the casket. Bank account went down to zero. What would you gentlemen do? How would you gentlemen act and live if your deepest fears already happened? When you accept your deepest fears happening, a weight gets lifted off of you. A lot of you guys right now are resisting because you're fighting against that worst case scenario. So you're blocking things from actually happening to you. But if you already accept it as done and you invite the abundance from you doing the work, as I mentioned, you guys working in the 3D and on the 3D, you would literally have a quantum leap like that. That makes sense or no?
That makes sense.
That being said, I asked you guys this question so that you could be aware that there's a resistance from you guys acting off of fear. Even if it's unbeknownst to you, all of you are acting off of fear. For example, Jamil, you said that you're afraid that if you promote yourself online, that may cause some type of conflict based off of the possibility of your company seeing it. The whole time you've been here, you said that you want to make multiple six figures and your company is underpaying you. So if you know what you want to do, why are you afraid of taking the steps to get there? Self-sabotage. It goes back to the very first day that we spoke. As I said, all of you, myself included, I've had to realize this, right? The only way that you're going to get to where you want to get to is by accepting that your mom is dead, accepting that you're flat broke. Once you accept it, you can also, as I said before, accept the reality that you do want. Caleb.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's actually like the most immediate fear that just popped up for me because I just had a call with my boss after the webinar, and I like in my head I was just like, bruh, like I should just say fuck it now and just focus on my business because like this shit is not like I can't keep trying to like finesse and wiggle my way through this shit and figure out, oh, like this client, my client, his client, that da 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 da. Like, I want to be able to just say, no, this is my company. This is what I do. Gotta instead of, oh, I'm representing this company, but I do this. And I was thinking of, okay, if that consistent $5,000 a month just is gone, like, oh shit, like what the fuck am I gonna do? So that was like, yeah, I'd say that was a fear that I just had like probably about 5 minutes before I hop on the call, to be honest.
Yeah, and whether you decide to stay and work that job while scaling your business or completely jump forward, that's up to you. But you are subconsciously acting off of fear and holding yourself back from experiencing what you want. You said that you want to make 20K a month, 30K a month. You and I know far too well. You're closing clients now. Felipe is closing clients. Max is closing clients. David is scaling. You guys are all gonna make the money that you want, right? You have all of the information to get there. But by you accepting, for example, if you weren't making that consistent 5K a month, okay? Okay, then what
Yeah.
happens?
Then I get to work because like it's crazy too because I'm thinking about it, bro. And I'm like, it's honestly kind of holding me back. Like, am I scared, or do I not believe that I can make $5,000 a month for myself? Like, that's the part that I'm kind of starting to think now. Like, bro, am I not have enough belief in myself to go make $5,000 a month for myself? Like, based off what I've been doing, I'm like, I should be, but like,
You don't believe
it's
it.
just that
I'll tell you straight up. You don't believe it. I
I
I've been there personally. I'm telling you, you don't believe it yet. You don't. And that's okay because you're aware of that. And once you accept that, then you can accept the higher version of you. And I swear to God, clients are going to flood in. That's literally what happens.
yeah, because bro, I really feel like I'm fucking holding myself back low key, bro. Like or I should say, I'm holding myself back from the highest version of myself that I see because I'm trying to maneuver and book clients around the work that I have and do all this and make sure I get double booked. And I got fucking double booked for 2 weeks out. Now I gotta fucking figure out how I'm gonna work this job and then also like do this shit with some other clients that I have. And it's just like there's no systems or parameters in place for me to be able to actually schedule shit because all of this shit is last minute and there's no like the information is not disseminated in a good fashion. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse because that's kind of what it just sounded like. But like it's just like, yeah, bro, I feel like it's holding me back from being that ultimate version of myself that I see. Like literally, like even me trying to maneuver around it and make it work, like I feel like it's holding me back from how I see myself.
Can I say, I think one reason I don't feel being broke is the only reason I don't feel broke. First of all, I don't have some of the responsibilities you guys have, so it's different on my end. But at the same time, if I do go broke, it's going to be because I'm aiming at something. It's going to be me putting my money into my business or investments. I'm not going to go broke spending my money on wild things, right? But I think it is that barrier that has to be broken because Caleb, quite honestly, bro, you could probably make your own school community. You can probably do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, bro, you're extremely resourceful in your field. Like, there's honestly no
All
reason.
of you are.
But just hearing you speak about it, like you know for certain that you know what you're doing, right? And it could be that fear of going broke that's just holding you back. Because even if you do go broke, you still have the skill. All you have to do is put that time and energy that you're putting into work, into your business.
Right. And honestly, like, I'm glad you said that, David, because it made me realize I'm not broke, even if that money goes away. Like, yeah, technically I won't have that money, bro, but I have assets to be able to go out and produce.
Exactly.
Like, I have cameras, I have a skill set, so I'm not really broke. You know what I'm saying? I just won't have that income that has been there. So I really appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. A lot of you guys in these upcoming weeks, you're gonna have to, like face like that terror barrier. Like in the warrior affirmations, there's a portion that says, before any battle is won, you must already fight as if you already lost the battle. If the worst case scenario happened to each and every one of you guys, would you still be able to produce? Do you have the belief and conviction in yourself that regardless of what happens, you will produce? That's a question that every man has to ask himself. Only you know that answer. You can't fake that shit, fellas. Jamil, what happens if the company finds out that you're also scaling your business? So what? We get you to six figures. You start to make the money that you want. You start getting the women that you want. You start experiencing the life that you want. That's the worst case. What's the best case? What's the fear?
Can I also say something again?
Of course.
Jamil, I think you should post on YouTube just once. Because listen, as scary as it was for me, my first time, bro, nobody saw that shit. Like 4 or 5 people saw it, right? But it's about getting it out. And when I got it out, it was just a relief. I don't know if it's
a catharsis.
Yeah.
So I think, I need to try that for sure. But for me, it's more the fear actually about promoting my business on, let's say, like LinkedIn, and just publicly promoting my business out there, so it's a bit it's something I have that barrier that I've always told the company that it's just a hobby when I started, because that's how I treated it. And so no one knows that I'm scaling my business, and just that fear that they will see, he is he's trying to do his own thing. But
Jamil, what do you want as a man?
Freedom, that autonomy to do that autonomy, man. I was thinking about it even today, actually, that most people in the corporate world where I work, they work in the same environment. Some of them work behind the same desk for literally the same salary until they're retired. That's a boring fucking life. That's not a life. And for me, what I would like is to have that autonomy. I can go to the island. My parents are getting old. I heard all of you guys talking about, one of the fears, your parents dying. My parents are getting pretty up there, and I try to visit 2 times a year. That's a vow that me and my brother, who lives in the US, he's in Virginia, we said, okay, every 2 years, we're going to go to visit the parents, because they're going down. It would be nice if I can have that freedom to just pick up and say, you know what, I'm working 2 months on the island. I spend time with my family. I come back, I can maneuver anywhere that I want. So this is something that I want, that freedom, that autonomy. Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, at this point, we've worked on clarity and also implementing the steps to help you get there. You've been scaling your business while working on yourself. If you know with clarity that you want autonomy and that freedom, why would the opinion of your employer put you in a fearful state when you know what you want? You don't want to work there. You're underpaid. You know exactly what you want. So if you have that North Star, why are you still being held back by the possibility of them looking at you sideways when it doesn't matter anyway?
I know I can't answer that, but I know it is there. I see it sometimes as a kind of a self-sabotage, to be honest.
You're gonna have to walk fully in the shoes of the man that you want to be, and that goes for all of you guys, myself included. I've done it, and I continuously do it. Vaughn,
Peace, peace, peace.
yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
Yo, fantastic. How about you? How you
I'm
guys doing?
doing I'm doing excellent, brother.
Yo.
Vaughn, Vaughn. So tell me,
Sir,
tell me, what's your biggest fear? What's your deepest fear?
biggest fear, man. I say the biggest fear is leaving without leaving this earth without setting up my offspring.
Mm. And what if that happens? In the worst case scenario, if that happens,
If
how would that
if
look
it
like?
happens, you know what? I'm gonna trust God on that because I'm a spiritual guy, and if it happens, I think it was meant to be, and I think that there's something for them that it wasn't for me to give, and I love that. You see what I'm saying? Because God is gonna do what He's gonna do. I don't know if you knew, but last year I was in critical condition. I had a very rare disease called Lemire syndrome. You can look it up. I had a 1 in a million chance of contracting the disease, and it nearly took my life. Uh, and I had trust set up, you know things appropriated for my family and my offspring, and I was grateful for that. So it's really like there's more work to do, and I like to give, I like to give, and I like to celebrate others winning around me. So any way that I'm able to do that, I think with God's, will being placed on me, I think that's why I'm here. So I really, as far as, my biggest fear, if that ever were to happen, I think that was because it's part of His plan, and that everything gonna be all right, bro.
Okay. That being said, Vaughn, would you consider yourself to be a free man or a man that still has a certain level of fear?
Both, and it just depends in what context. Um, I'm free in a lot of ways in this perspective because you don't know what you don't know, and what I do know is where I've been, and what I do know is where I'm going. You know what I mean? So it's like you're free when you can look back and really have tangible goals and dreams that have been fulfilled. But I think being present is really the key to knowing true freedom, because just like you just said, you were speaking to all of us and you were speaking to yourself. This is a constant evolution. I was thinking about the new AI movement and how all these different. I'm like, we are literally living in the future right now. Like we
Mhm.
damn near got flying cars, and you know AI can read. Phones that can read our mind and read our conversation and read our thoughts. Like this is really a beautiful time to be in. And now it's just how can we cultivate presence? How can we cultivate the essence of who we really are and share that to the best of our ability because we're always communicating. And to my brother who's out there really looking for his breakthrough on being able to fully express himself in freedom in life, man, there's so much for you out here. You know, I don't even know you, bro, but there's so much for you to give, and you have so many experiences and talents that really could change somebody's life. And I'm grateful that you're a part of this group because you spoke to me in a place that I was in. And so I want to speak to you and your future selves to just let go and just trust the process, trust Dudley here, trust the brothers that are really, you know, stepping out on faith, and give yourself the gift of life. Don't be afraid of nothing, man, because if you was going to die, you would have been gone already. So you still got more to give. And I appreciate, you know, Dudley for doing this thing and me being a part of all you gentlemen. I appreciate that.
Man, beautifully said, man. And Bond spoke on something specifically. He said, man, if it didn't happen, I would leave it in God's hands. What he showcased there was faith. And it doesn't matter what you gentlemen believe in, but you have to believe that you can produce, that you can become, and that you can experience, most importantly, that you deserve to experience everything that you guys want to, right? All of you gentlemen at this point have clarity on what direction that you want to go, but there's still something at a visceral level that's holding you back, right? So this exercise was to expose that. And I want to expound upon it and ask you guys again, like, if everything went to shit, what would you guys do? You would have no opportunity but to go up. So again, David, Jamil, Chris, right? Like if if the worst case scenario happened for you, what would you guys do? What's the next play? What's the next move?
Gotta keep moving, man. I mean, yeah. Worst case
Yeah.
scenario.
No,
If
go ahead.
if if you're broke, you're gonna make money out of necessity. You know, if if my parents die, I'm not going in the casket with them. You know, I have to do my thing, and so yeah, you
I'm telling you
Yeah.
guys right now, I have been broke, I have been homeless, I have been heartbroken, I've been stabbed, I've been shot at. Listen, once you face your biggest fears, there's nothing that can hold you back. You must always have this idea that one, the worst case scenario can happen. It probably will happen. So I'm going to take advantage of every single day, even when you're up, especially when you're up. You guys have all experienced amazing results. You guys are closing the biggest deals of your life. You're dating the women that you want. Everybody came in here for a different reason to become a Renaissance man, and you guys have all gotten so much more. You guys have gotten the results, but now it's time to sustain it. And part of sustaining that is constantly reinventing yourself, which is why it's called Renaissance man, meaning rebirth, revitalize. That being said, at every level, gentlemen, myself included, at every level, you're going to have to face a new fear. And fear will always be there. But the difference between a warrior, right, being courageous and a warrior is making that decision to push forward in the midst of fear. Everybody feels fear, myself included. I feel fear every day because I do uncomfortable shit. But I take the step forward, even if I want to throw up. And sometimes I have thrown up. So what? I wipe my fucking mouth off and I keep going forward. This is how a man builds that quiet confidence because you break yourself down and build yourself up out the trenches every single day. And once you get there, nobody can tell you shit. So, Jamil, whatever you have to do to walk in alignment with that ultimate version of yourself, keep taking the steps. You have been now for 3+ months, but you're gonna have to keep staying uncomfortable. You're gonna have to keep staying and growing through that discomfort. Because I promise you, the skills you possess can make you millions of dollars. You're heavily underpaid right now, heavily,
that I
and
know.
you know that.
Yeah.
You deserve more. And that goes for all of you. You all deserve more. I told you from day one, I want you all to fucking dominate. I don't want you to win. I want you to dominate. And I meant that shit. And I still mean that shit. I'm not here just to coach you guys and be cute. I want y'all to fucking dominate every day, every hour, every minute. I hope y'all get that. I want y'all to fucking dominate. When you walk in the room, I want you to be respected. This shit has to run deep. It's not a game. You can never conduct yourself like an average man and let yourself be consumed by fear. That's not a Renaissance man.
Real talk.
I'm ready to work, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get to
Yeah,
work.
some hype right there.
Indeed. Alex,
How's it going, my
¿qué te
man?
hace tener miedo? ¿Qué te hace tener miedo?
¿Qué me hace tener miedo?
Sí. In English, please.
Yeah. What's giving me fear? What gives me fear, right?
What's your biggest fear?
What's my biggest fear? My biggest fear, I guess it's a fear, but I don't give it a chance to even imagine that in my mind, right? But yeah, it's a fear. It's the fear of not becoming the person that I know I'm meant to be, right? The thing is, I don't give it even a chance that to happen or to cross my mind. But yeah, that's the wolf that's coming to for me every single day. So that's not something that comes and goes. That just is at behind me every single day. So yeah,
Pero se queda en tu
that's fucking
mente.
scary. But see, exacto.
It's in your mind, though. Trust me, I
So
know fear very well. What would happen if you didn't become who you want to be?
I think it's impossible, man.
It's definitely possible. Every outcome already exists. The same way you becoming that speaker on stages exists, you being a fucking bum on the street also exists. That goes for myself as well, and everybody on this call.
Mhm.
So it exists because you've already thought about it.
Yeah, that's right. I guess I don't let it exist by my actions, but it's possible. Yeah, that's right.
So what would happen if
Absolutely.
in this reality, if you were to experience that worst case scenario?
That would be, wow. I didn't think we would be talking about this, but it's deep. Yeah. It would be like in case that happens, if I end up in that situation, that means that something happened bigger than me that led me to that situation. Like it was meant that I ended up in that situation. That's my philosophy. But yeah, uh,
What would that
I
look
don't know if I
like?
have an answer, honestly. I have answers. What would it look like? It would look
Yeah.
like for me to end up there, I would like have to stop trying. And because that's something that I don't think it's possible, that's why I say it's not possible. But yeah, I would just have to stop trying and just do everything from a negative perspective, right? So that's why I'm doing the ups, the like the el opuesto, todo lo opuesto. That's what I'm doing.
Mhm. So I bring that up to your awareness because once a man is able to accept his deepest fears, only then will he become free. Because that fear exists,
Mm.
but the more that you try to push it away, you're bringing and inviting resistance into your life. Once you accept that that is a possibility, you can also accept the exact experience that you want. Once you accept it, it's no longer holding you. That makes
Mhm.
sense?
That does, yeah, that does make sense. It's kind of like being aware and flowing, right? Like I'm aware that it's possible, but I'm going to do everything that is in my hands chance to not end up there, right?
So a man has to exercise at all times masculine indifference. This is with life and women, any endeavor. When we have something that scares us, that we're fearful of, and we don't accept it, but we try to pile on something that's perceived to be good on top of it, that's not a sturdy foundation. You have to accept death, accept defeat, accept every bad outcome that could happen, and free yourself from it. Only then can you truly experience life with full freedom.
And how do you free yourself?
Me personally, I envision that my mom is already dead in the casket. I see her. I'm back to being broke
Holy shit, bro.
and homeless. I'm back in Haiti on the street. I am completely poor.
And that's
I've
like
accepted
your
that.
that's like el motor, es como el motor que hay detrás, como para lo usas como para motivarte, ¿no? Representa.
Sí, quizá, pues a veces sí. Depende del día, pero it's like once you can accept the thing that makes you afraid, you essentially free yourself from it.
Just thinking that could be like where a lot of
And
personal like vices and stuff could come from too. Like that's why people self-sabotage because of that
Absolutely.
same fear that they have.
Absolutely. It also goes back to the self-image, right? I told you guys, for me, I come from a very poor family, very poor. I didn't have a bed or anything. So as I started to grow and mature and experience certain things, I found myself always self-sabotaging back to baseline, which is being poor. And it wasn't until I unlocked my mind and figured out what was holding me back, I addressed it, accepted it, and I made room for me to become a new man. And at every level that you guys get to, you're gonna have to address yourself and open up the doors for you to become that better version of yourself. That makes sense?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
A lot of people do not think about this, fellas. This is in every area. Indeed.
You say you have to address it, and then what was that? There was another word with an A, I think it was. You have to address it, and then what?
Accept
Take
it.
action. Accept it.
Accept it. I've almost died several times just in the last 2 years. I've
Dang.
accepted it. So once you are able to accept the worst case scenario, only then do you become free. Anything other is you fooling yourself.
And how do you
Questions?
harness it though? But how do you harness it though? Like okay, I accept there's a possibility of me not becoming everything that I know I will become. There's a possibility it's physically possible, I guess. But how do you take that and make it something worthwhile thinking about, you know?
The only time that you are able to be fearless as a man is when you've already accepted fear. What makes you a warrior is you implementing courage. The difference between the warrior, someone who has valor, and someone who is a coward is simply the person taking the foot forward. Even if they're stuttering and shaking and shitting on themselves, they taking that step.
Action.
That's what honor is. That's what glory is. That's what valor is. That shit give me chills right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes a real man.
I feel that.
That's what
Thank
makes
you.
a warrior.
Yeah.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense now what you're saying because it is usually the guy. It's even in the streets, in war, soldiers. It's the guy who's not fear of death. It's usually the one who is he's fearless. So he brings everything, right?
That's the Purple
So
Heart.
Like the Vikings.
yeah,
Those are the men who
Yeah.
their names echo in eternity that get the statues that are held in great grandeur, in preeminence. Those are the men. Any other is always forgotten, always. Not worthy of breath, not worthy of speaking about. What kind of men will you gentlemen be? I told you since day one, I'm going to be a fucking great. I live my life accordingly. This is what being a Renaissance man is about. What do you guys want?
Yes, sir. Hmm.
Got to ask yourself that question. Do you do you
Hmm.
do you just want to be okay, above average, successful, or do you want to really dominate? A lot of people don't have the palate to dominate. Domination requires somebody always challenging you. But here's the thing, being average, you're going to get challenged anyway. Life is not easy for us men. We're the keystone, we're the bedrock. A man decides how great he wants to be, fellas. That's why I love this fucking existence. A Renaissance man is a man that has a myriad of skill sets. That shit takes a lot of work. It's not easy, which is why most men are not qualified to be a Renaissance man. Gotta ask yourself that question, fellas. What do you really want? If you want to be comfortable and just be a little bit above average, that's okay. Just say that. That's not what we go for here, though. And I made that clear since day one.
Fucking love it. Yes, sir. Giving me
Yeah,
chills already, bro.
yeah, definitely. This was a good talk because yeah, since I had the thing with my back a bit, I've been falling off for the last 2 days, and my my mental my mental is not weak, so it's telling me, yo, you need to catch yourself back. And I've been thinking about how can I get back myself into the mindset to be dominating my days again. So I'm a bit struggling with that, but this was definitely a good talk. It's like gives me a reset.
This is why we
Absolutely.
need brotherhood. This is
Not that
what
many,
brotherhood is for, bro.
not that many people have that fire, man.
Absolutely.
It's
I was
like
thinking.
when you
I was
try and
thinking.
talk to your friends about stuff like this, yeah, they don't know what to do. They get silent.
No,
You freeze up.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
I was thinking.
intensity, that
I was.
intensity, you got to keep that intensity. And yeah, we are men. We have a lot of things that we are dealing with, and sometimes the fire starts burning low, and you lose that intensity. And yeah, this is what the brotherhood really helps, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
But that happens to everybody, by the way. Like
yeah,
even Dudley, I'm sure, confirm it, Dudley, if it's true, but it's not always the same amount of level. That's why we have to be like helping each other, you know?
That's why you see I'm
Sometimes
always
I'm
putting
super
myself in
low.
uncomfortable situations. Go ahead, Alex.
Yes, sir.
I
match
was
that
thinking the
life
same way,
yourself.
Jamil. You said you had 2 days. I had 2 months, brother. And I was thinking to myself, how in the fuck am I gonna bounce back? So like, last night I made a decision. I'm gonna start from square one. So I started off lecture one, chapter one, and I started going through it about the mindset. And I just was going through the videos, and not to just rush through it or nothing, but just to try and like get back in because I know I fell off. 2 months, 2 days is one thing, but I'm at 2 months, man. Like I forgot the names of the morning meditations and all. I forgot the names of all of that shit because I
that's
wasn't
bad.
thinking about it. I had the one issue. So I made that decision yesterday. I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about it, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And you gave me an opportunity because you spoke on it on your situation. And I'm 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 searching and I'm reaching for a way to jump back in like the double dutch. You know how they be doing the double dutch, and they be right there, and they be like this, they be like that, and then boom, they get it, and they be at it. You know what I'm saying? Like a goddamn sewing machine, boy. Them legs be moving. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but my legs ain't gonna move that fast. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to add to that, and what I'm saying is that's the best thing that I come up with. I said, let me start from square one. and just review the material, just go over the material that led me up to the point. I was like 5 weeks in before things started to change for me. And then that change was gradual up to the point to where it got to the apex, and now it feels like starting to go down. This morning was kind of rough because I had a long day yesterday. I was on the saddle. I was on the saddle for a lot of hours yesterday, and I got a lot to go. Just so happened the goddamn highway stuck. Otherwise, I wouldn't be looking at you guys. But I got like, I don't know, it's at least 2 miles of traffic right here. So I stopped. I got a chance to pull out my notepad and everything and take some notes about this conversation we're having. But that's my solution. Like I have to ask myself. And as far as my fear, yeah. And I like how Dudley said something that's so very true, is that the coldest warriors, they be scared, but they fucking keep going. He said he throw up, he gonna wipe that shit off his chin, and we gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? You get a fucking arrow in your arm, coming like Alex said, the barbarians, what'd he say? Vikings. You get a goddamn arrow, either you break that motherfucker or you snatch it out and keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you get up off the ground. It's not how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times we get up. And that's the warrior mindset, And I love that shit.
Amen, man.
I love that shit too, man. I love the fight, the hustle, the blood, the doubt, the
Exactly.
shit talk. I love the fucking arena. I love conquering. I love killing. I love being a savage.
Because when you get to that point, you can recognize your real peers. You can recognize lesser men, and it's like,
1000%.
this is
You can see it now.
This is the difference amongst men. We are not created equal. You know what I'm saying? And that gives me a little bit of chicken skin. You know what I'm saying? Recognizing that I ain't that.
You're nothing like these motherfuckers. And look, it's no disrespect to anybody that's not on this call, right? I'm not talking about anybody specifically, but I'm just saying you see who does the work and you can recognize your peers. This is why I love being around savages in suits.
Yeah.
And every gentleman that I brought on here to speak to you guys, whether he's like speaking nice and sweet, he's a fucking savage in a suit. Because you don't get to that level of success by being a fucking pansy.
There's an edge, yeah.
Oh man, I am getting the chills to freaking.
Deji grew up in a fucking war zone in Nigeria, seen all types of shit. I did ayahuasca with him. I went through that experience with him, seen body parts flown, like the crazy shit, body parts fucking blasting everywhere to make it to where he's at today. He can kill you in a second. He knows how to disarm you, but he speaks very sweet and shit. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I respect men.
He has that mild-mannered aura about him, but I could see the edge too, because how he was talking and like his talk is like there was focus in it. Like you gotta have that edge, to just the way how he constructed the conversation. I could keep up with it and take notes, but I could still hear him, and that takes like focus. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain because I be dissecting things in a certain type of way, how my mind works and how I recognize men. But I believe you. I believe you when you say he's that. I believe it. I just do.
Wait till I bring on my brother Sam. Man, fellas,
I got that from that other Canadian
dude. Decision, man. Y'all gonna have to make a decision on the level of greatness that you guys want. You guys are already great. You've already done the work. You've been doing the work. You've been putting it in. But there's different levels, and I think deep down, everybody on this call knows that. I know that.
Yeah.
I got to get better. It's no ego. I got to get better.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta like that thing that you sent a long time back with Will Smith, and he was talking about his son, and it's like you gotta eat different, you gotta sleep different if you want to just have that edge to be great, right? So
I
Yeah.
also want to add that there's a term called your shadow work, and that deals with your fears, your insecurities,
Mm-hmm.
and facing them. And that was part of something that I was doing when I was doing my spiritual fitness training. And it gives you a when you dig deep off into that subject and you look deeper into yourself, it gives you a better sense of confidence of who you really are, and it helps you accept it. So to the brothers, like look into that subject, like shadow
Okay.
work.
You know what's the real hard truth about it for all of us? We know what we have to do. I need to say no more. We know what we have to do,
Absolutely. There's
but
a
it's
concept that's called the knowing and doing gap. It's the disconnect from what you know you have to do, but you actually implementing it is a whole nother thing.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That pain and discontentment comes in when you